Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to your Cosmic Catch-Up for week commencing the 16th of Feb. And I'm actually posting this on the 14th of Feb because I want to give you some time to plan ahead. Because this is not only a big week, this is a huge week. This is a big turning point in the year, but more over like in your life and definitely versus the last year and probably even more than that. Okay, so I want to say to you, are you ready? And like really open up your eyes this week. Don't slip through it and be aware of what's happening. So there are two things I'm going to cover this week. There is an eclipse happening the first part of the week, and there is a very big conjunction happening towards the end. And even just the timing of that is really quite exceptional. And I will start also by saying it's a big week and you will see it in many places. It's not just in astrology. It's also the Chinese New Year that coincides with the eclipse on Tuesday. And in numerology, we are in year one. So what you're going to hear me say a lot today is using the word new. This is the time for things to turn and for new things to start. So it is very exciting. I might say that word a few times too. So let me dive into it, and this episode could be a little longer, but it's important that I really break down those energies because otherwise you'll be like, oh my God, what's going on this week? Okay, so first things first, the eclipse on Tuesday. It's a solar eclipse in Aquarius. A solar eclipse is a big, powerful new moon. So it's like brand new beginning. Now, it's happening for everyone in the world on Tuesday, the 17th of Feb at 7:01 a.m. in New York, 12:01 p.m. in the UK, and 11 p.m. in Australia. And being an eclipse and a new moon, it means this is a karmic restart. Things are going to turn around. Because it's an eclipse, things are going to happen, I want to say, no matter what. There is a calming dimension to it. Things are faded. If you have been tracking eclipses in your life in the past few years, you may have noticed that this is how it happens. Like, it's not just a shift and things happening a little bit. It's usually a big shift. Eclipses are there to really put us back on track, especially if we're not on track. So if it does feel uncomfortable, what happens? If it puts you in a tricky situation, hang in there because it is for your highest good. It's to put you back on track. It's not a punishment. So I do hope, that things will turn around in a positive way for you. So it's in Aquarius. That is an energy of breaking free. Breaking free from the old, from the conventional approach, from the mold. And it's about embracing the future. It's very futuristic, this eclipse. And it's going to be basically a big mental awakening for us all. Thinking outside of the box. That's what will happen. Like, we are going to be kind of projected and launched into a different direction. That's going to be quite radically different from the trajectory that we were on. And truth will suddenly emerge because it's going to happen a bit like lightning bolt type moment. I think an expression that sums this up is there will be revolution in the air. Okay? So you'll be thinking, what's going to happen in my life? To give it full context, you need to look at your birth chart. And if you know what I'm talking about, go and locate 28 degrees Aquarius and see which house this falls into. Because that's where that revolution, that mental awakening will take place for you. For some of you, it might be your home and family. Others, it will be your career. Others, it might be your one-on-one committed relationships. For me, it's in my third house. So it means my way of thinking. So I'm expecting like a huge light bulb brand new perspective or bit out there idea hitting me with this eclipse, or maybe some new truth, authenticity in my close relationship, because third house is like your relative, your siblings. So interesting, right, to see. But for each of us, the eclipse is going to bring and deliver a gift of truth, and in a kind of a revolutionary, radically different way. So I also want to say, there will be, beyond just this eclipse, which is massively powerful, more planets in Aquarius. So we have obviously Sun and Moon for the eclipse. There is also Mars, the planet of power and drive, and Pluto, the planet of deep transformation. And the planet that rules this eclipse, if you like, the authority of this eclipse, is Uranus, and it will be forming an exact square with the eclipse. So basically what this all means is there's a truckload of Aquarius energy around the eclipse, and like to the side of it, pushing it. So we're going to feel a lot of things. What does that look like so you are prepared? Mental restlessness. And I don't know you, but I have already been feeling it gradually this week. So your sleep might be disturbed. You might have racing thoughts during the day or at night. Your nervous system is going to be really activated. So you may feel quite wired. At the same time, you will feel tired from all of that. But it's like your mind would just like keep going. So a bit of overdrive mentally happening for you and, your partners and your children, your colleagues. So really watch that and look how you can calm your nervous system. You might feel an impulse to like scroll. I definitely have seen myself doing more doom scrolling this week already. Try to calm yourself down at night so you sleep better. I think this is a great time to take some magnesium, to, take some walks, go into nature, like things that are going to balance that mental restlessness instead of feeding it. Because if you feed it, you will just have a very wired time and you'll be really exhausted. You may also feel like a strong desire for independence and autonomy, and maybe a bit of a rebellious energy to you. So watch what you do with that. Don't like lash out and blow up to some people and announce that you're going to quit them or something radical like that. But you will get sudden clarity about what longer fits. And that's what I love. It's like you get this sudden insight and flash, if you like, of, but like, yeah, I'm done with this. And this is who I really am. And this is who I want to become into the future. So my tips under this eclipse is to, number one, wait before making any important decision. You may get the flash of insight, but don't act on it yet. Like, do not make any important decision under an eclipse. Wait at least 2 weeks before you do, especially if they're big life decisions like quitting a job or changing countries. Number two, I've already said it, ground yourself. Try to really decrease your screen time. Go into nature, like do things that make you feel more in the body as opposed to in the head. And use this energy to channel the future vision that you may have. However radically different, maybe a little bit crazy it might sound, that's okay. This is Aquarius energy. It's very futuristic, like think very innovative. So journal, capture those things that come to you, and you can decide later what you're going to do with them. But it's really a time of powerful insight for that kind of thing. And so the question I want to leave you with under this new moon eclipse is, what's outdated for you? And what have you outgrown mentally? And what future version of you is trying to emerge? So really, really big questions. And I hope you really got how the energy, the flavor is going to feel. It's going to feel quite sudden, quite electric. And those things will unfold over the next 3 to 6 months. It's not like things are going to change overnight in your world. And it's karmic. So it will feel like it's just happening to you. Some astrologers say set some powerful intentions. I don't particularly recommend that under an eclipse because I feel like the energy is so strong that you'll be directed no matter what. So, but I think balance your nervous system, definitely, and capture those very futuristic long-term insight that might be really different, that will reveal who you really are, your truth about yourself, and where you want to break free. So that's the first part for this week. Big eclipse. And just like, I don't know how that works, but at the same time, the same week, 3 days later, exactly at the same time, so you can use the times I give you for Tuesday the 17th, Friday the 20th of February, we have a big conjunction, which is a meeting of two big planets in the sign of Aries. And I have mentioned that several times before. It's a huge astrological event. All the astrologers are very excited about it. It's Neptune meeting Saturn in Aries. And that is, as I say, exact on Friday. Neptune moved into Aries late January. And Saturn moved into Aries today, actually like an hour ago. And I talked about it in last week's podcast episode. So it's already at 0 degrees with Neptune. So that conjunction is already active as you're listening to this. But it will just like build up, and it will be exact, if we really want to be a purist in astrology, on Friday. But you're going to feel that energy all of next week and beyond that. And why is it a big deal? It's because that conjunction. So that conjunction happens every 36 years, roughly. So it's a big deal. But that conjunction is happening at 0 degrees, 0 of Aries. That hasn't happened in 6,000 years. So that's why there's just a symbolism that is very, very strong. And I don't know you, but if you're listening to this podcast, I would say chances are you believe in those things, right? In signs, in omens. And that's one of them. So 0 degrees of Aries is the absolute beginning of the zodiac. It's like the birth, right? When there is nothing and suddenly something emerges. So collectively, astrologers believe this is the time for a brand new beginning for humanity, for Earth. And we have seen how things have been gradually collapsing in the last 2 years, also under the influence of Pluto. But we've seen governments collapsing, we've seen parts of the world undergoing massive transformation and changes. And this is all part of this big collective process where the Earth is really moving into a brand new cycle. I can't keep going in that space because I know the focus of my podcast here is to give you an energy update for you for your week. But if you're interested in hearing more about what's happening collectively and with the planet and with the political institutions, I highly recommend you watch the videos from Pam Gregory on YouTube, because she's a really powerful authority on that. So bringing it back to you, we have planet Neptune, which is the planet of dreams and visions and ideals, right? Think very lofty, but, very important to have the inspiration, right? Saturn, on the other hand, is the planet of reality and structure and maturity, right? So you think, oh, how are those two being put together going to behave, right? So it's like the builder meets the dreamer. And that means this conjunction will make the dream, the vision real, will bring it into the concrete world. If you like, it's just going to lend it. It's going to take it from the cloud and go, okay, we're going to turn this into an actual building here that is concrete and that we can stand on. So from Friday and even throughout the week, you will feel that energy there is a concretization of something in your life. There is something emerging, something forming that is very long-term, that is very stable, that is really anchored in some kind of a structure, and that you're going to be rolling out and building in your life. It's in Aries. So Aries brings leadership energy, like being your own boss and being like, I'm doing this. It brings courage. It brings assertiveness, and I think these are great qualities to help us build that thing, It's not bringing us kind of emotional vibes. It's like bringing a focus on ourselves and a strong focus on driving ourselves and kind of saying, I am. Really, that is Aries energy. It's like coming back to ourselves and what makes us us at a deeper level. So because Neptune and Saturn were in Pisces, and now they're going into Aries, which is the beginning of the cycle, that means that some of those illusions might be gone and like dissipated as this happens. Things will dissolve. So that will bring a sense of clarity. But that can also be a bit destabilizing for some of us, because if we've been living too much under the illusion and the clouds, if we've been living in fantasy, we're going to be brought back down to earth. And this is going to be a reality check for some of us. But it's going to show us where we are ready to act, where we're ready to start building something for the long term. And I know it's the fire horse, and I'm talking about being excited and new beginning, and we want to bolt forward maybe, but that is not how it's going to feel. Saturn is not that. Saturn isn't fire energy. Saturn is quite stern. Think of it a bit like the boss, the authority, the father figure, right? So this new start, when the clarity comes, will require you to take responsibility for it. It's got to feel a little serious, a little sobering. So not party time on Friday, It's not that kind of expensive energy. If it was Jupiter, it would be. It would feel optimistic, abundant, all of that. Saturn restricts. That's how it builds growth. It's saying, hey, what needs to go here? Focus on that and do it well. So this isn't a time to be impulsive or rush, but it's going to feel quite existential. You will feel some kind of a long-term responsibility emerging. You will have clarity in one area of your life about what's unrealistic, and you are going to be choosing a commitment, a new thing you're going to be building, and you're going to go, I'm going to do this. It's that self-leadership emerging. You will see the work ahead. Might not feel like easy work, but you be committing to it. You be like, okay, I'm deciding I'm building this in my life. So we don't get that kind of energy very often, to be honest, but this is that turning point this week. So you will have the big mental awakening prior to that, probably through the eclipse. And at the same time, this is going to emerge from the clouds and into saying, okay, let's do this now. It's like inspiration will meet commitment and discipline. My tips through this is don't rush things. This is going to be something you're going to be building over the next few years. Don't put yourself the pressure to have it all worked out and to take some action, and don't go all guns blazing over next weekend and the week after going, God, I've got to get this done. Like, I know it's fire horse, but don't just start running on hot fire yourself, because Saturn is demanding patience and resilience and maturity. So, but just work on the plan. Start just thinking, what's the next step and the next step and the next step? How am I going to get there? You may need to let go of all illusions if maybe you were a little bit on that cloud and you feel like you are facing a reality check. And that is plenty for you to do and process first. It's just like, this thing isn't what I thought it was. And where I was comfortably nestled in the clouds, now I feel like it's been pulled under me and I've got to get going and grow up in a way. That's tough, but that's being asked of you. So focus on caring for yourself as you go through this transition. Let the old illusions go. Release them and release that version of you that clung on to them as well. And then choose one long-term decision. Like if you do not, over the next few weeks, kind of decide on something you're going to be doing for yourself, using the courage, and making a mature decision about something that you're going to be working towards, that will be taking a few years. If you're not doing that, you're probably really missing out on such an important opportunity that's coming from the universe right now. So you be thinking, but where? Like what? What am I building? The answer is in your chart. So it's at 0 degrees of Aries. And so if you have your birth chart, look where that is, which house that falls into. For me, I think I've mentioned it last week, it's in the 4th house. So it's going to be in the areas of my home life, my family life, and my sense of emotional stability. Like these are my core foundations. And this will come quite quietly, right, to all of us. This isn't like a big loud boom, Uranus-style bombshell, right? And I've been feeling those things, and I've been feeling all the Piscean vision things around there, but it's going to become concrete. So that's my example, but it's really important for you to know where that is. So try to access your own chart or book a birth chart reading for me. I have time over the next 2 months. I will be taking some time off in April where I will go overseas, but I have time until Easter, and you can get your birth chart that then you can reuse for all future events happening. Not only will give you an amazing picture about yourself and will help you understand yourself on such a deep level, but you will have those different houses and you will know exactly what planet falls where. And when I say 0 degrees of Aries, you can see which house it is. So you can personalize this information. It's such a powerful session for you anyway. Like, it gives you a roadmap about yourself. It helps you understand yourself and accept yourself and know what you're working on, know what you're moving towards, understand your challenges. So you will get that from a birth chart. And then it's a tool that you build on into the future by looking at what else is happening this year and next year. Like, we can predict the cycles in your life and the kind of energies you're going to be facing. Like, it's so powerful. Again, I did a couple of transit readings this week for clients that had had a birth chart reading with me prior. And it's so informative for them. Like, I am able to say to them, this is what's coming at you. And these are the themes and the areas of your life. And this is how it's going to feel. This is roughly when it's going to hit. And this is how you can prepare yourself and go through this transit. And it's so beneficial to know what's coming ahead and to make sense of what's happening, especially those long-term transit and those forces at play in your life. For instance, when you're feeling dissatisfaction with your job, or you're feeling like maybe where you're living isn't quite right, or maybe your relationship, you have some questions. Like, those are really big life decisions and they don't happen overnight. But every single time there is an astrological transit happening around that time, and I can help you navigating that. So if you haven't had your birth chart reading, start with that and then have a transit reading with me. There's an offer to do both of them combined. That's also in the show notes. So I'm going to leave it here. Hang on to your hat when it comes to the eclipse and all the mental electricity that will be around. And it will take another 2 weeks for things to really get processed and feel into this new thing that is emerging out of you. You know, the new mountain you're going to climb, the new project, the new venture, the new thing you're going to be saying yes to, that is for you. So that is such an exciting turning point. Thank you for being here, for listening to the podcast. I hope that I managed to make it digestible. So have a good weekend if you listen to this early, and a good eclipse and a good start of this new venture you're going to be working towards. So beautiful week, everyone. Amazing times. Enjoy. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.